providing resources and comfort to caregivers. This is Caregiver Crossing.
Good morning. You're listening to Caregiver Crossing. I hope that you're doing wonderful this lovely Sunday morning. If it's your first time joining us, Caregiver Crossing is a show brought to you by Joy's House and presented in partnership with Cardon and Associates. Thank you for being here. This show is created for family caregivers and the people who love them. We're right here every Sunday morning to discuss the highs, the lows, the pains, and the joys of caregiving. We're your hosts. My name is Candace Hattabaugh.
Well, I'd pretend to be Terry Stacy, but nobody can do that. And she's with her family today. So Terry, sending you lots of love, and we'll see you here next week. But I'm Tina McIntosh.
Hey.
Hey.
I miss you. I feel like it's been
I know.
Been a little bit. And it's only been, what, a week?
I know, but it's the real connection, right? Like I've told you we need to have coffee. We need to have I know it's a little early right now, but a margarita poolside.
I vote margarita.
I'm in.
You can hear past episodes of the show at caregivercrossingradio.org. And if you enjoy the content or have any suggestions of topics or guests that we should invite to the Joy's House studio, you can reach us at 317-254-0828, or you can email Tina at tina@joyshouse.org.
Can I tell you something about the emailing?
Please do.
Y'all have been emailing, and it is fantastic. Like somebody reached out last week and asked about jobs because we're hiring at Joy's House, in particular in guest relations at our Broad Ripple location. And somebody reached out about that. We've had people reach out for care kits, to give us topics, to just say, hey, we're glad you're back. You know, we were gone during the COVID time period. So glad Caregiver Crossing is back. And it just makes me happy. So please keep emailing. I know. I've been on the other side where you're listening to something and you're like, I'm not going to call in or I'm not going to email. They don't really care. We really care.
Yeah. And we respond to everything.
Everything, because we care.
Yeah.
So please, tina@joyshouse.org. Let us know what we can do better here. Let us know what you really like. We want to continue to make you happy and to make you more prepared and to have this community, this, on-air community for family caregivers. So I don't know about you. I'm all messed up. I don't know that it's Sunday because, first of all, I'm like, it's July. How is it already July 9th?
Oh, goodness. The year is more than halfway over.
It's more than half over. And they're coming off of the holiday week. It's just crazy. So Independence Day, any good stories from you?
No, it was wonderful. It was really laid back. We had a friend here in town from Philly, and he stayed with us for a couple of days. It was always wonderful to see him. We celebrated Doug's 43rd birthday.
Well, happy birthday, Doug.
It was just a really, really fun time.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah. How about you?
I had a lot of family things. We lost someone that we love. And so we were with family there, and then we saw dear friends, and I helped my dad, Ken, as many of you know, passed away not too long ago. I have another dad who helped raise me since I was 2. He's moving, and so I went and helped him pack. So it was a lot of that. There was also a lot of relaxation. 2 of my best friends have been in town, and so I got to tell you about that later, by the way. So it's been just wonderful. But here was the kicker. So Independence Day, I have a hard time saying 4th of July, by the way, because it's more than that.
That's fair.
For me, it's like saying Xmas, it's more than that. And so for Independence Day, we were pretty tired. We were chilling. My husband and I turned off all the lights outside and went out back and just listened to the fireworks all around us and the fireflies. And we have barn cats. They were running everywhere. We watched bats. We're getting so old. And then I said, well, let's go to the front and see what's happening. No sooner did we walk out front on our covered porch that the sky let loose. There was a serious downpour at our house for probably 20, 25 minutes. So we were sitting on the porch, and 2 of my best friends are in town. And so Deborah and Adris, I'm just going to say their names out loud. They're my best friends. And so we were sitting on the porch, the 4 of us, and I said, what was that song, remember, from the 80s? What was that song that started with, hallelujah? Whoa, 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 whoa.
Ooh, I got nothing.
The Bird. It was called The Bird. And there's this ridiculous dance that goes with it. Sorry about the singing. This ridiculous dance that goes with it. And next thing I knew, we had a speaker on the front porch while it was pouring down rain, and somehow fireworks were still going off. And we went into this 80s R&B fit. and danced in our chairs, and we would take turns getting up and doing these ridiculous dances from the 80s. It was hilarious.
The bird, was it from, is it this one?
Do it.
Why is it not sounding?
It's all right. It's a good one, though. What, my singing wasn't enough for you?
No. I need the real deal. I can't get it to play. Sorry, folks.
Oh, it was great. And so, yeah, I just, that'll be a core memory for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was great. Candace, we had a thing happen this last month on Caregiver Crossing.
We did. We had a little snafu. Thank you to the few of you that reached out and let us know that something was not right. But you reheard a segment, a whole show actually, at least twice. We apologize about that. That situation has been corrected, and hopefully will never happen again. So this is fresh Caregiver Crossing content today.
That's always good. Oh my gosh, you can imagine how mortified we were when you heard two shows. And I don't know how a rerun happened, but regardless, it's been fixed, and that's really all that matters. So we only have a couple minutes left, and then we've got to take a break. But we are hiring. I know I mentioned that, but I'm going to say it again. We're hiring in guest relations. Really looking for somebody who can start. Any time, but definitely August. If you know someone who really loves working with people with their heart, Candace and I both started at Joy's House. I'm blessed to be the founder of Joy's House, but I started in guest relations. I did all the things. And Candace, you started here when you were how old?
I was 20.
And she was a baby.
She was a baby.
And I don't know, when you think about your time in guest relations here, like what did that mean to you?
It was so rewarding to make friendships, really, with the people that we care for. They come to us with a need, whether that's just companionship or they need assistance in the restroom or eating or whatever that might be. But it's such a rewarding, fun job. Every day is different. We dance, we sing, we act complete nuts. But at the end of the day, we go home and are fulfilled. So if that speaks to you in any kind of way, if you have questions before you even want to step in to see if it's something that you would enjoy doing, give us a call. I'll talk to you about it.
Aw, call Candace.
Yeah, call me.
Truly, we are so excited to bring new people in to Joy's House. And so if you know somebody who's interested, just send them to our website, joyshouse.org, or just call Candace. You can email me too at tina@joyshouse.org. So we are going to have to take a break. We've got, if you've not heard about the book, Joy's House, it's not what you think, and yet it kind of is. And so we have somebody very special, the author, Dr. Rafizadeh, coming to share some time with us here on Caregiver Crossing. And then we got a little surprise for you at the end too. So stick around. We'll be back here in just a moment on Caregiver Crossing.
You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you weekly by Joy's House in partnership with Cardon & Associates. We're here every Sunday to bring you support, education, and hopefully a good laugh. Visit caregivercrossingradio.org to connect with us, hear past episodes, learn more about caregiver support resources in the community, and much more. That website again is caregivercrossing.org. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing shortly.
We're back on Caregiver Crossing, and we are so excited to have a special guest with us. She is a lot of wonderful things, but I'm going to tell you her name, and then we're going to bring her in to talk with us. But I had the pleasure of meeting her recently, and she's just a wonderful human. So you are about to hear from Dr. Mahsan Rafizadeh. And she is joining us from her home state of Hawaii. So first of all, good morning to you.
Good morning, Tina.
Oh, we're so glad that you're here. And, we've been very blessed at Joy's House over the years, and people have done so many nice things for us. I mean, it's, dropping off donated items. It's the kind words, like the true gratitude and kinship. It's community support. I mean, there's so many things. No one in our almost quarter of a century of existence, no one has come to us and said, you inspired me to write this book, and the book's name is Joy's House. Thank you for that gift.
Sure.
Tell us about the book, because it is, first of all, it's beautiful.
It is. It's a wonderful.
Oh, it's just so well done. Your words in it are fantastic. The illustrations are gorgeous. If you were describing this book to somebody for the first time, what would you say to them?
Well, first, hello, everyone. Thank you for having me on the show today. So first of all, I must say that I absolutely adore the name Joy and Joy's House. I can't think of a more fitting and wonderful name for this place. So the story is about a conversation between a fairy tale character and a little girl named Joy. Joy believes that her grandmother no longer loves her. Then the fairy tale helps Joy understand the importance of sharing her feelings with her parents. And then they explore different ways that Joy can help her grandmother and the path to recovery. So the book has beautiful illustration, and I highly recommend it for families with young children who may have loved ones suffering from dementia.
Yeah, because what I think has not been said yet is that grandma has a diagnosis of dementia, and it's not for lack of love. She's just going through her own struggles. But your perspective is so strong, because so many times we think about a spouse or a partner, or we think about the adult children caring for their parents, but to think about the little kids in life. Candace, you would have thought.
I did, because you said that there's a fairy that comes to visit Joy because she notices that she's sad. What made you go choose a fairy to visit her? I thought that was so neat.
It just came to my mind. I don't know why I chose a fairy. Maybe because kids, they're much. For them is much easier to talk to someone that actually doesn't exist, and don't judge them, or
For me too, Mahsan. For me too. I mean, truly.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, what really inspired you? Like, you are, first of all, let's talk about this. You are Dr. Rafizadeh. Yeah. So, I mean, you are doing very important work in your life. It's not all fairies and, and fun. Like, the kind of work that you do, tell us about that. You're a medical doctor.
Yes. So let me start from the beginning. So as you might guess from my name, I'm originally from Iran. I was born and raised in Tehran. I'm a medical doctor by training. I did my training in Romania. And after I finished the medical school, I moved to US. And at that time, I made the decision to change my direction to start a new career in neuroscience field. But in my free time, I enjoy writing children's book, and my latest one is Joy's House.
Oh, there's more than the one. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's what I want to hear about.
Yes, I have a series of books. Is teaching kids different UNESCO sites. That this goat character goes to different countries and show them the very interesting places, or tell them very interesting stories, such as Dracula house, that the goat tells them that Dracula actually doesn't exist, and there was a prince named Dracula, something that.
I want to get in your brain.
I do too. You're going to use the Joy character? Is that what you said? And she's going to travel around?
No, not Joy's character. It's different. So it's a longer story. So Many years ago, they found a vase that had a different picture of a goat jumping up and down in one of the UNESCO sites in Iran. And archaeologists, they said this is the first cartoon character and also the first animation. So I was inspired by that, and I many years ago, I started writing books about that goat. And then this goat, now the goat goes to different UNESCO sites and show different sites to children.
That is so cool.
I love it.
What are these books called? Like,
How people
what's the name of these books?
All start with welcome, such as a welcome to Dracula House or a welcome to Kinderdijk. Kinderdijk is a place in Netherlands. Or welcome to Bern City, which is in Iran. So if you go to Amazon, you can see some
I'm
of
definitely
them.
going to go to Amazon.
Wonderful.
This is so cool.
We will be sure to link to your Amazon store in our show notes for sure. So, excuse me, everyone can go in and find all of your books. So you said earlier on that you went to medical school, but before that, did you ever dream that you were going to be a doctor at all, especially a doctor trying to find a cure for dementia?
No. No, I had totally different goals and vision for my future.
I mean, I think if you said to anybody, when you were little, what is it you thought you would be doing? There's a lot. I mean, I always thought I would be an author. I loved writing. I knew I would do something with writing in my life, but I never thought I would be doing what I'm doing. And I can't imagine. I don't know, though. You talk to some kids nowadays and the things they come up with that they want to do to change the world for the better is so cool. Now, before we have to take a break here, where can people find, in particular, your book, Joy's House?
On Amazon.
On Amazon. Okay, so just look for Joy's House. And okay, so we need to make sure people understand this too. So Mahsan's name, we are talking with Dr. Mahsan Rafizadeh. If you're looking for the book, you're going to see Mahsan's name, and then you're going to see, is it Boogert?
Boogert, yeah.
Boogert, thank you.
Boogert.
Okay, so just make sure you're finding Mahsan, Mahsan. A wonderful book with Joy's House.
Thank you, Dr. Rafizadeh, for joining us and sticking around. Dr. Rafizadeh is an author of Joy's House, which is a children's book about a little girl named Joy who is sad because she doesn't feel like her grandmother loves her anymore. Joy was then visited by a fairy who helps her begin to understand that her grandmother is living with dementia and gives her some ideas and tips on how to still engage with her grandmother and maybe help trigger some of those memories that she has with her.
So I know in the book, there are some strategies that the fairy gives to the little girl Joy. And she talks about, taking grandma for a walk and making sure not to go too far because grandma will be tired. Or there was another one you wrote in there about taking photo albums so that they had things to reminisce about. And I think it's brilliant because so many times what Candace and I know from being in this industry of, working with aging adults living with some kind of a life-altering diagnosis, we've been in it for a long time. And a lot of times people will show current pictures to someone and say, well, look, this is your daughter. And for somebody living with dementia, it's like, no, my daughter doesn't look like that. My daughter's 5, not 50, and so you wrote so many of these tips into the book for the character and for so many of us to learn from. What is that something you've always known how to do, or is that something that in your current work you learned?
This is it's a mix of what I learned at work and what I read or I saw in the movies. So it's a mix of both.
Yeah. It's it's a beautiful book and a beautiful gift for somebody who has children in their life and somebody living with the dementia. It's really, really brilliant.
So, doctor, what are some strategies or techniques that you would give children and families for understanding the changes that occur when a loved one has dementia?
So I believe that families in contact with or serving as caregivers, regardless of their level of education, greatly benefit from seeking support and receiving education on how to manage these kinds of situations, whether dealing with dementia, schizophrenia, or any other neurological disease. It's very crucial to understand how to navigate these challenges. As we know, unfortunately, traditional academic programs in fields like medicine don't provide training on facing these specific situations. They teach us how to diagnose or treat a patient, but they don't teach us how to respond when our own mother doesn't recognize us as her daughter.
Oh, that makes so much sense. I mean, it's very common. I think it's like there's a saying about, even a plumber has a leaky sink at home. It's like we forget what our training is when it comes to our own loved ones, for sure.
Exactly. And, most of us, we think, if I'm a scientist or a medical doctor, I know how to deal with this kind of situations, but that's not true. So it's better to look for help or some support. And also for the children, we often underestimate their understanding and assume they are too young to comprehend what is happening in the household. But it's very important to involve them and give them simple explanations. And by doing that, we can help reduce their sadness or anxiety, which we might not have realized they were experiencing.
Very true. You are hearing the voice of Dr. Mahsan Rafizadeh, and she has written an incredible book called Joy's House. It is a very easy read. It is written as a children's book, and it is something for all ages. Mahsan, you had something that you wanted to share about any book sales taking place during the month of July. And again, we can buy the book on Amazon, but what is that announcement you wanted to share?
Yes, I would like to mention that all earnings from this book during the month of July will be donated to Joy's House organization. It won't be too much, but I would like to give this to your organization.
We're honored, and this is what we always say, and we mean it. Every dollar donated to Joy's House allows us, one, to continue on with our 2 adult day centers serving, hundreds of families. And the other part of it is for caregiver support and education. And so we're really, really grateful for that support. You strongly believe that we need to be working with children. And I love what you just said about, children comprehend so much more than we give them credit. I don't know. I guess I just want to drive that home. Like, I agree with you 100% that the children need to have communication, because if not, they end up like sweet little Joy in your book, thinking they're not loved.
Doctor, before we have to wrap up here, is there anything else that you would like for our listeners to know?
Yeah, I just want to tell them that they should know we are all here. And they're not alone. And just take one step at a time, and everything hopefully will be okay.
Yeah. I think it's so important to hear from scientists and those that are working to find a cure for all the diseases, because they see the frontline workers, the ones that are providing the day-to-day care, but they don't always get to hear from the folks like you. So thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for the work that you're doing.
Thanks for having me here, Tina. Thank you.
Well, Candace, I'm going to go ahead and take us out. We will be back here for one more segment. Our time together is almost over, but we're glad you're all here on Caregiver Crossing. You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you by Joyce House in partnership with Cardon and Associates. With 20 communities owned, operated, or managed in the Midwest and more than 40 years of senior living experience, Cardon and Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized care. Visit cardon.us for more information and to find a community near you. If you want to learn more about Joy's House, our adult day services, or caregiver support services, you can do so by calling us at 317-254-0828 or by visiting joyshouse.org today. Again, joyshouse.org. Stick around. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing right after this. You know it. That's the bird. We talked about at the top of the hour, and the dance is, I'm sorry for whoever created the dance. It's just as bad as you remember it being.
It's bad.
But it's fun to do on your front porch on Independence Day. All right. What do we have here?
This is our final segment of the show. So thank you for sticking around with us today. I was searching for show content, and I came across an article from curetoday.com that talked about the importance of self-advocacy during cancer treatment. But I think that could go for any treatment, any disease, any diagnosis that you get. You need to be able to advocate for yourself. So Tina, what in your cancer treatment, what was your takeaway, and how did you advocate for yourself during all of that?
Okay, so 1,000 things come to mind. Like, yes, in my own journey, yes, in the journey of people that I've loved personally and through Joy's House. Like, if you don't advocate for yourself or take somebody to advocate on your behalf, you might not get the same attention. Like, I loved hearing the doctor, our author, Mahsan, talk about how she still thinks about clients after 6 o'clock. I don't know that every doctor does. How can they? I don't expect them to, but you got to advocate for yourself. And so I actually, when I saw that you wanted to talk about this, I wrote a book, and you may or may not know about it, listener, but it's called Embrace the Imbalance. I'm really proud of it.
You should be. It's an absolutely wonderful book.
Yeah. And it's the responses from it. I close my eyes when I'm talking about it. It gets me kind of embarrassed, but the responses have been incredible. And so the subtitle is Things You Need to Know from People I Wish You Knew. The reality is I've been blessed to get a lot of, you have too, we all have, get lessons in our life and stories and experiences. And so ironically, chapter 8, these are all short stories, some from journals of mine, with a lesson in there. And chapter 8's lesson is advocate for yourself.
Wonderful.
Let's
hear
read
it.
Okay, I'm going to read it to you. It's just a few pages long here. It's from March 8th of 2021. This is my second breast cancer. Okay. On November 22nd, 2020, I prepared for a surgery that I didn't recognize was going to be a beast. I got up that morning at 4:30 to shower with my pre-surgery antiseptic. If you know, you know. Just imagine scrubbing your body with something that smells like your neighbor burned a pile of leaves, turned the ashes into a pinkish brownish antiseptic, and told you to lather it from head to toe in preparation for surgery. I opened each of the kids' bedroom doors like when they were little, and I touched their feet, blew them a kiss, and shut the doors behind me. Then we were off. Jeff drove, and we checked in at 6 a.m. as instructed. We waited in a large room with white walls, cold chairs, a coffee machine that wasn't making coffee, and a bunch of other anxious-looking people. A woman carrying an iPad looked down at what I had assumed was a list, and she called my name. She asked Jeff and me to wait off to the side near a wall while she collected other patients. It felt like we were in school, like lining up for gym class. The iPad lady then asked us to follow her. 2 by 2, we all walked down a hallway where hospital beds lined the walls with poorly typed notes that said something like, "Don't touch. These are saved for the unfortunate people walking down this hall to be butchered and then put back together." Seriously, don't touch. These are sanitary. Well, sort of, because you just breathed all over them. Just keep walking. I may have not gotten that exactly right, but it was something like that. Curtains lined the area where we were directed, and then we were each led into a space behind the curtain. That's when it was just Jeff and me again behind our curtain. We sat with our anxiety until a slew of nurses, doctors, and other hospital personnel came in, asking questions and answering our questions. Then, boom. My name is Chris. I'll be the nurse in surgery with you today. We're ready to go. Okay, Chris, I guess we're doing this thing. Jeff kissed me on the forehead and said a prayer with me. Then Chris and I headed to travel down a long and quiet hall. Chris wheeled me into the operating room, which was sadly familiar. I'd already had a number of surgeries during the previous months, but this operating room was pretty empty, unlike the one I was in my first cancer surgery. That time, the medical team looked like the cast of Grey's Anatomy, and I remember thinking I'd like to have a drink with them if they weren't about to cut me open. But this room was pretty much the opposite. I always ask for a moment to pray before they put me under anesthesia because A, it seems like a good thing to do. B, someone once told me that you actually recover faster if you're relaxed before going under. So before the anesthesia kicked in, I prayed. Then they put the mask on my face. I lied there. I waited. Prayed again. Then I thought, wait, this isn't working. Something's wrong. I said some of those words out loud and saw Chris open his mouth to respond. That's the last thing I remember. I'm going to fast forward a little bit for sake of time, but I had an 11-hour surgery that day. And I remember coming out of surgery and thinking that something was not right, that it shouldn't have taken that long. And so, they yelled at me, they shook me, they got me up, and I was in the hospital for a number of days after that. It was a major surgery. So fast forward. Today is March 8th. Scars are formed where the cuts were. I've had yet another surgery for reconstruction since that November marathon surgery. Reconstruction was only 2 hours long, and I was back at home by dinner. Cool. Fine. But last night, something just didn't seem right. I ended up in the emergency room at my local hospital. They agreed that it was critical to get in to see my surgeon the next morning to discuss a possible infection in my reconstruction surgery site. That means today, this morning. I called as soon as the office was open. Granted, it was first thing on a Monday, and I know they're slammed, so I left voicemails in a couple of places. After dropping my son off at school, I headed toward my surgeon's office. Knowing that it's rude to show up unannounced, I called and waited until I got a human on the phone. There were a lot of nice exchanges during our conversation, but this is pretty much how it went. Vicky: all right, Mrs. McIntosh, we can get you in with Terry tomorrow at 3:00. Me: I understand, but I really need to be seen today. Vicky: yes, unfortunately, there is nothing open on the schedule until tomorrow. Me: cool, I get it, but you should know that I'm headed that way and I need to be seen today. Vicky: I simply don't have the authority to make that happen. Me: yep, I'm still headed that way and have faith that I'll be seen today. I appreciate your help. As I was walking into the office, I took some deep breaths and prayed that God would guide my steps and my mouth, because fear and anxiety can make me say some pretty stupid things. This is how that exchange went with lady at the window, whom I will call LATW. LATW: hi, can I help you? Me: you know that lady who marches in and demands to be seen? Well, I'm the nice version of that lady. Please have some mercy and grace on me. I need to be seen today. After explaining everything to her, she couldn't have been any nicer or more helpful. And by the grace of God, my nurse had come in early and got me back almost immediately. She confirmed that I have a pretty serious infection in my left breast. She ordered antibiotics for me to start immediately. Then she told me not to wait so long to come in if I think I might have an infection in the future. If she only knew. I share that because if I had listened to everything that they were telling me, I wouldn't have gotten in until the next day.
And that could have been detrimental.
That story could be way different. And so I know we got to go. We got to go.
We got to go.
Thanks for being here. Next week, Caregiver Crossing. See y'all later.